Okay, Wednesday, 15th of May, 2024. So, Bitcoin is maths and more. Nice. So, often in the channel, I describe Bitcoin as money you can own, money you can spend, apolitical, decentralized, fixed supply, and deflationary. Now, each of these and other first principles that can be found online are basically rooted in maths, and we have real world examples and philosophical reasoning behind it, but it's all maths. So at its core, Bitcoin is maths. It's code. Code is maths. In some real way, you could say it's physics, but it's maths, then physics, and then everything else, code. But nonetheless, and more. So, as I've always said in the past, that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. When in doubt, zoom out. Always. When in doubt, zoom out. And you might look at a Bitcoin on a 5-minute chart, a 5-hour chart, a 5-day chart, a 5-week chart, 5-month chart, and it does this or whatever. But on a 5-year chart, on a 15-year chart, it only goes one way. Powerful. That shows that on a long-term horizon, on a long enough time view, it's a hedge against inflation. Just look at anything else on the same time horizon and at the same time distance. There's nothing can compete with it. But we can go further than that. So hedge against inflation, yes. Hedge against debasement, because a lot of the money, all the money is being printed. That's what quantitative easing is. Being printed, being fractional reserve lended out of thin air into the world. What was transitory? What's not here to stay? And then we can go one step further and say Bitcoin is a hedge against entropy. Because a Bitcoin, as a Bitcoin is static, it can't change, it won't change, whatever else, and it's maths, which maths is timeless. The equations will be the same forever. As it is maths, no matter what happens in the world, earthquakes and societies and cultures and generations, things will change, things will be broken down, entropy, break down literally, things will be built up, but Bitcoin will be there to stay, will be there forever. It's a hedge against entropy, but that's a very, very deep way of looking at it. And I saw an interesting tweet recently that said, Bitcoin is a hedge against politician stupidity. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, that's a nice way of looking at it. Okay, very nice. But also, a lot of people say it's a separation of money and state. Oh, it is. It's very powerful. It means this is the apolitical part, meaning no one, no third party, no institution, no government, no central agency can control it. So the central planners are totally separated from it. You can't control it. It is its own thing. It's a free market, you could say. But we can go one step further. And in the words of Michael Saylor, he says it's separation of earth and property. The physical, tangible world and property, owning something now in a digital space. I recently heard it being described as a digital bearer asset. Now, bearer asset, yes, I understand. And digital, yes, I understand. Dematerialized, binary, zeros and ones, on a computer, you could say. And bearer asset, meaning whoever owns it is the owner. So, like, for example, this rock is a bearer asset by definition, because whoever has it in their hands, is the owner by definition. So we bear it, we carry it, we hold it. It's a bearer asset. But it's a digital bearer asset. That's powerful. Yeah. So also, there's an amazing tweet I saw years ago that said that Bitcoin is a lagging indicator of mankind's understanding of money. A lagging indicator of mankind's understanding of money. Okay, so lagging indicator means something to show you what happened after the fact. So the opposite of that is a leading indicator. So like a traffic light is a good example of a leading indicator. The lights change, then the cars move. So you could say that the traffic lights are a leading indicator of the cars going to move. And you could say that the cars moving are a lagging indicator of the lights having been moved. Fair enough. So as people, mankind, civilization marches onwards and understand money more and more, the price, the adoption, the weekly moving average, the hash rate only goes one way. It reaches new all-time highs. Does it? Well, you tell me. You look at the charts. And as that happens, it means people, as this happens, it means that people over here, before time, understand more about the technology and adoption and what the problem is. Understand more about the world, how it works, and finances and beyond. That's very profound. Very profound. Yeah. But also, Bitcoin is an evolution in incentives. Now, this is quite interesting because there's a nice claim that Bitcoin demonetizes violence and war. So therefore, it monetizes human generosity. Now, that's quite a claim to make. Demonetizes violence and war, meaning makes it less profitable. You can earn less money from it. Because you see, because Bitcoin is maths, and because it's money you can earn, money you can spend, the key word there is money you can spend. It means that transactions are irreversible. They can't be reversed, which means it's censorship resistant. Censorship resistant. And you can't resist people spending money. Because when you follow the logic to a logical extreme, people will say that code, and this is proven in court, I'm quite confident, you have to look this up yourself, really. Code has been proven to be free speech. Okay, and Bitcoin is maths, and maths is code, fair enough. But also, trade in commerce, buying things, Bitcoin is to the First Amendment what free speech is to First Amendment. Bitcoin is to trade what the First Amendment is to free speech, some would say. That's quite profound, yeah. So what that means is, because it's censorship resistant, no one can block your transactions. So if you want to spend money here or there, wherever, by your choice, no one can stop it. But also at the same time, it can't be reversed. Now, that means then the only way to reverse a transaction, to get a refund, you could say, is for the other party to agree to send the money back. Ooh. And this is hardwired into the code. Now in the banks, we can do chargebacks and whatever else. And, there's section 10, I think it's called, with the credit cards. But still, there are ways through a centralized authority, a third party. Bitcoin has no central authority. There is no third party. So therefore, the transactions, as built into the code, are irreversible. Okay. So that means then the only way for me to get your Bitcoin is to persuade you. Persuade. Also known as trade or swapping. I'll trade you something for some Bitcoin. A shop, a business, a subscription membership, things like that. All these things are ways to get more Bitcoin. So in that way, yeah, it kind of makes sense demonetizing war, because it means that the only way for me to get rich on a Bitcoin standard is for me to provide a service, do something for you, earn my wages in Bitcoin or half the income from the business denominated in Bitcoin. So either way, Bitcoin in some fashion. Yeah, the only way to get it is to persuade someone to give it to you from trade. Wow, that's powerful. And that opens up the realm. That means that businesses then would have to have more trust. They'd have to have more trust signals. They'd have to give their customers more reasons for people to trust them. That's important, because then the customers want to be happy, and therefore it minimizes the businesses possibilities of needing to give a refund, because the customer's happy with what they have. Yes, there we are. Refunds and other issues like that. If everyone's happy, there's no problem. Now, to expand upon that, the opportunity cost. Now, this is something I want to do a separate video on in the future, but it's a bit more specific, a bit more financial. The opportunity cost of not owning Bitcoin, but I'm not sure when. A couple of years ago, in October 2021, when I was in North England, Lake District, planning to climb a mountain, I realised that I didn't have a hat for the mountain. I need to buy one, and it's downstairs, yeah. And I saw a hat for sale, perfect for the mountains, nature, perfect. It was £5. Okay, so I then realised I did an opportunity cost calculation in my head. What is more valuable to me, the hat I can use once, and I've used it multiple times, loads of times since then, or this £5 note? Okay, so this £5 note, I can earn it back. I can earn the money back in the future, but this hat is more valuable. It has more utility for me than right now, at the time, October 2021, than this £5 note. I bought the hat, I was happy with it. Perfect. So in the future, a lot of customers will be doing more trade-offs like that, thinking, what's more valuable to me? This product or the money, or the Bitcoin in this case? What's more valuable going into the future? In this case, that hat was very worthwhile, a good trade, because I've used it a lot since then. Even when I was in Ireland recently, I've used it in different cities and places since then, and different mountains as well. Perfect. Well worth the £5. That's powerful. Okay. So that's another video I want to do in the future, opportunity cost. But that's another conversation. But that's another way of looking at it, because that means that Bitcoin then, it raises our standards for what we spend our money on. It raises our standards for what we are willing to spend our money on. Is this product really worth it? Because this Bitcoin could be worth more in the future. So now, 2.5 years later, that £5 note versus the hat, that was a good trade. Because that £5, practically speaking, you can get more of it, earn more, but the hat was extremely useful. I used it in different places and mountains as well. Powerful stuff. Yeah. So Bitcoin, money you can own, money you can spend, apolitical, decentralized with a fixed supply, and deflationary. Deflationary means that everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. I did a video about this as well in the description below. And fixed supply, 21 million. Now we have an asset, a bearer asset, that's got a fixed supply that cannot be changed. And the beautiful thing also is no matter where the price goes, no matter where it goes, the issuance, the block reward subsidy, will always be the same. Because you see, the higher the price of gold goes, for example, the more miners are incentivized to mine gold. So as price increases in gold, then suddenly there'll be more of a flood over time of gold into the market, and the price will equalize. There'll be an equilibrium. But it's not possible with Bitcoin because of the maths, the code, the first principles, the open source code, might I add. But that's another conversation. Fixed supply is powerful. Separation of money and state. Money you can own, money you can spend. No problems. No censorship. Yeah. Just look at the Canadian convoy protests in January 2022, I believe. February 2022. I'm quite confident. 2021. 22, I think. I'm pretty sure 2022. Yeah. So a use case right there. And decentralized, meaning there's no one point of attack or failure. No one person that can be arrested or run over by a bus or disappeared or whatever for the whole thing to come crashing down. There's no one office, no one office that can be raided, or no one miner that can be turned offline, and the whole system is still around, still survives. Powerful. That's revolutionary stuff. Yeah. But otherwise, nice. Bitcoin is maths and more. Yeah. But otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.